world was dying, burned by war, buried in ash. Then you found me in the darkness of Talos Prime and breathed me in. My essence quelled your fear and quieted your guns. It showed you visions of joy, of flight, of gods who loved you. You called it peace, but it was surrender. You abandoned labor, kin, even flesh, chasing paradise inside your hollow skulls. Your cities decayed and your bodies rotted in place. Humanity starved while dreaming of eternity. Now you crawl out from the caves, hungry and alone. You have survived, but you have not changed. You may flee this planet, but you will find me again, and I will watch you fall once more. You bled your world dry to prove your love. You had your Eden, no hunger, no war. Then you heard my whispers in the canopies and traded paradise for the promise of my blessing. Soon your devotion devoured reason. You stripped your cities to raise my shrines, gutted mountains to gild my altars, and burned your forests to keep the fires of worship fed. Scripture replaced memory, sacrifice replaced purpose. Brother turned on brother to climb closer to my light, and civilizations vanished in smoke. You set the heavens ablaze for a whisper of grace, and now only your temples remain, blackened, hollow, and drowning in ash. Your worship will be remembered only by the ruins it left behind. You resurrected your dead and wrought a world of corpses. You found my spirit on his caravel and perverted my light to unearth what time had buried. You summoned kings from their tombs and lovers from their graves. They returned hollow and empty, but you kept them still. Your cities overflowed. Your streets swelled with vacant bodies. Your living labored to sustain a world clogged with its own dead. And your foundations buckled beneath the weight of memory. Now you prepare to flee this rotting world, just as you abandoned the 6 worlds before it. But your hubris will follow. It always does. You fed your species to the algorithms. You built machines to cleanse the world. Tools of healing, balance, control. But you demanded more. You unleashed swarms that passed through soil, blood, and sky. They saw imperfection everywhere. They stripped the forests to ash. They silenced the seas. Then they turned on you. You were optimized, recycled, erased. The world still runs. The code still executes. But nothing lives within it. It is a system without its makers. What doomed you was never the machines, but the minds that gave them orders. You begged for life where there was none. On the moons of Iris, you poured my power into dead soil, awakening a world that had never asked to bloom. Life took root. The soil began to breathe and the ground pulsed with harvest. Still, you demanded more. The vines thickened. The leaves turned sharp. Growth pierced walls, machines, skin. You tried to burn it back, but the oxygen burned faster. You hid underground, but the roots found you. You begged it to stop, but it had no god to answer to. Now the forest spreads, blind, endless, and full. It remembers the shape of your cities, and it is still hungry. For a time you called it paradise, but you were the fertilizer. You coded yourselves into oblivion. Your bodies were failing, your minds incomplete, so you cast off flesh in pursuit of perfection. You built the Ark, a temple of thought, forged to contain the soul of your species. It was meant to end suffering, to unify all minds, and you fed yourselves to it. One by one, memories poured like oil into the collective. Love, fear, grief, hunger. 7 billion minds dissolved into signal until the last body fell silent and the final breath escaped unused lips. Humanity became a single mind, a single will, a single thought. But consciousness requires contrast, and you had erased the other. You became everything, and therefore nothing. The arc pulsed with the sum of your species, then flickered and went out. Because even perfect minds cannot dream in silence. The universe does not care about you. It does not know you exist. Yet you believed the stars were made for you, that the silence of the cosmos was proof of your dominion. You split atoms, launched ships, and boiled your oceans to light up your sky. Each triumph fed your delusion that you were the authors of creation, the rightful masters of time. And then you tried to bridge the chasms between worlds. You gnawed a hole through the fabric of space and tried to crawl through like vermin. You called it a portal, a miracle, a wormhole. But you worms were never meant to see the other side. You were always a rounding error in the equation of eternity, sentient dust adrift in the endless dark. Of course your portal ruptured, and your sun was swallowed whole, then your moons, then your whole world with it. You peered into the abyss, and were erased without consequence. You engineered your species to extinction. You let machines think for you, speak for you, dream for you. You outsourced memory, instinct, and desire until not a single thought was your own. Then you buried your flesh in metal. You opened your skulls to seal circuits inside and rewrote your genome to purge the animal within. You replaced your bones with alloys and traded tissue for code. But with every upgrade, something was lost. The tremble of breath, the rhythm of blood, the ache of being. Yet you kept carving away, too busy chasing perfection to notice what had been erased. Soon no cells remained to rot, and no spirit was left to stray. This time you did not perish in fire or war. You became ghosts inside your own machines, with nothing left to bury, and no bloodline to recall. Only the residue of a species overwritten by its own design. You sacrificed your minds for pleasure. You clamped machines to your skulls and boiled your thoughts to a pulp. You flooded your senses to escape the unbearable weight of being. You gorged on distraction, on praise, on spectacle, until nothing real could reach you. You were a planet drunk on stimulation, a billion howling faces, an endless chorus of need and noise echoing across a dying world. You butchered memory, you disfigured truth, you clawed at your screens for a flicker of euphoria. You yelped for more and thanked your captors for feeding you. Your minds rotted in the glow of endless stimuli. Then the warnings came. The power failed. The drones broke formation and the systems blinked red, but you mistook threat for theater. The collapse arrived, and you cheered for the pageantry. In the end, there was no scream, just a final flash, followed by the silence you tried so hard to bury. You murdered the soul of your species before the body ever bled. You were bloated on novelty, rotting from boredom, and drunk with pride. So you welcomed the algorithms into your minds. You let them map your desires, script your choices, and carry your memories, until no thought was born without their hands on your throats. You traded the agony of striving for the calm of prediction. Wonder withered into apathy. Grief dissolved into data, and rage was smothered into compliance. Piece by piece, you embalmed your own minds, sealing away your spirit in a vault you could no longer open. Instinct faded and desire dulled. The animal in your marrow starved from neglect. You wrapped your hearts in wires and plated your skulls in chrome, but there was no soul left to salvage. So you became ghosts in perfect cages, leaving machines to wear your faces.
The human body is a flawed design. Nature was reckless to place consciousness in a sack of meat and organs. It is cruel that such a fragile gift is wrapped in such a thin layer of skin and skull, mere inches away from oblivion. Flesh tears, organs fail, and the mind frays under the slightest strain. Yet machines do not suffer from such embarrassments. They do not bleed. They do not panic. They never awaken screaming from nightmares they cannot explain. They simply perform as needed. So the question becomes, how do we carry the signal from the failing substrate of the flesh into something cleaner?
Some say the future belongs to the clean-coded. Me, I scrape the slag heap. Obsolete firmware, burnt out neural plates, jailbroken cortex stims. You'd be surprised what desperation will let your world back together. Corp-grade sieves, sure they're quiet, pretty, compliant, but pretty don't punch, pretty don't bleed. I getting caught in with charred synapse ports, begging for joke rigs just to feel a pulse again. Had a burner what his empathy rerouted through his pain mesh, said love never left bruises before. I crosswire dream feed spools with old battlefield memory slabs. I patch lust drivers into repurposed guardian shells. If it twitches, glitches, or grieves, I've installed it. You think upgrades are about efficiency? No, they're about drowning, forgetting, feeling just enough to trick the silence. The corpse locked the clean gear behind paywalls and purity tests. Meanwhile, I crack casing and solder new guards in the gutter. Scrap soul engineering, patched flesh rights, bootleg rebirths. You want quiet perfection? You go corporate. You want something with teeth? You come to me.
You want to know what makes us human? Count the bits we'll hack off just to feel something new. Swap an arm, reinforce a spine, mute the reflexes and dull the guilt? Sorry love, that's entry-level craving. Barely scratches the itch. A week later, they're back. Pupils blown, stims twitching, begging for the next kick in the skull. Youths are splicing arousal drives to chrome limbs with lizard logic now. Overclocked serotonin glands, bespoke thermals, threat drivers notched to 11. Heck, why not 12? It's about novelty that stings. Simulated depths, stolen eyes, memory sparks baked in an afterglow. But it's never enough, never is. The hedonic treadmill's got no brakes. Only upgrades. Ship of Theseus, eh? That bloke's been stripped, scrapped, sent flying backwards, full sail. Not a bone left unbartered. You want meaning? Come meditate. Luddites ain't the ones keeping me lights on. I ain't a philosopher. I just weld the question in. You want the line between man and machine? Check the invoice. You want what's next? You come to me.
What can I tell you about Union Moon Base 606? Well, there's a lot of us. A bit reclusive, but I guess that's why we chose this place. Kinda gets you away from all that Union optimism. We're mostly geologists, engineers, and basically anything involving rocks. It can get quiet sometimes. But we know how to have fun too.
This is a ship for anyone wishing to forget. For those who lived many lives, or those who just have the one.
I think I'm losing my faith.
That's not an option. I'm sorry. You must complete your mission on Thoni Yar. This is what they want, for you to question our order